He will never be rid of his need for it. He hates and loves the ring, as he hates and loves himself. Smeagol's life is a sad story. Yes, Smeagol, he was once called, before the ring found him. Before it drove him mad. Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them, Frodo? Do not be too eager to deal out death and judgment. Even the very wise cannot see all ends. My heart tells me that Gollum has some part to play yet, for good or ill, before this is over.
I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish none of this had happened.
So do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. There are other forces at work in this world, Frodo, besides the will of evil.
Hey everyone, it's Billy Root from FIFTY8 magazine, and thank you for watching The Art of Consciousness. These films are a curation of scientific insights with a study of the unseen, which is spiritual knowledge, in order to integrate with the mastery of will to create a unified individual. By understanding the eternal masculine, which is consciousness, and the eternal feminine, which is energy, we can create a perfect union of a world of warriors who are governed by love that transcends time, dimensions, and space. Consciousness and energy is a dream with power and intent. These next films will be about the knowledge about our brain, hormones, cells, and subatomic particles in order to create a new movie, a new reality. All the ancient art and symbolism has always pointed us to the vast potential of our brains and minds. The human and the divine can find a point of fusion through the human brain. This is why we must discover the mysteries of our own brain, as well as the art for engaging and collaborating with this divine director and architect. These teachings can be utilized through initiation and knowledge. Like all learning, we must accomplish them by contemplating new ideas and test them by experience and practice. These are the techniques and approaches from mystery schools and ancient schools of wisdom. If your focus has been only on your body and the business of success in life, being a good lover, a husband and wife, a father and a mother, son or a daughter, then you have never gotten to know the real you. The activities of the body are a mask to what we really are. Could there be another aspect of ourselves that has been missing? We must overcome the image, the body, the personality, the label of our being. It is a limitation, a judgment of something that is unlimited, your spirit.
Where would you be without me? Ellen, Ellen, I saved us. It was me. We survived because of me. Not anymore. Leave now and never come back. Leave now and never come back.
Your personality is what you like and dislike, what you determine to be good versus bad, better than, less than, man versus woman, black versus white, etc. It is split into an altered version of ourselves. This is also called the dragon within us. It is an energy from the gut, and it changes the personality to a victim or have an ego. It knows it won't live long, so it holds on to security, safety, and urgency. It's a parasite in every human being in this reality. Your personality is a prison because it's a controller of something eternal and magnificent. These limiting thoughts, judgments, and labels are energetic bars. This personality, or personal reality, is thus selfish and only lives life to feed the needs of self, the body, the image, rather than the whole. They express themselves through the chemicals of the body, which is emotion. The experience of this being is about survival, which uses the clay of reality for only personal needs. Their focused thought is about me, me, me. But with knowledge, we can overcome these limitations and conquer these limiting thoughts through the power of the will. We have to train the personality and clean it up. Self-importance and trying to grab people's attention wastes your energy. Your image, your personality, destroys your energy, which creates death. If you are authentic and true to your spirit, you become a supreme image. This dragon can be changed with kindness and forgiveness, but we have to become a dragon warrior. The personality is a program that exists in our supercomputer, our brain. It is created in the neural net of the brain. The program of the personality is downloaded and experienced as the fundamental landscape of your reality and your life. Every person, your emotion, every place, your scenes, everything, your props, the time, day or night, is a rhythmic frequency to your own consciousness and energy. Your energetic echo attracts them to you in order for you to experience yourself. You only get to see what you are. When another shows us the wave of energy that we are, it is also important to focus on adding to that wavelength in relationships, but it's also important to not get too comfortable in relationships. A lot of men and women have denied their own self-expression in order to keep harmony in their marriage and their relationship. And this is why people get married, to have a brief wave of similar vibration, to experience and identify in another, an expression to share. But our frequency value is a fellowship. Our engagement with the whole depends on the aspects of ourselves. No one person can give us our entire mirror. It is the accumulation of the many that gives the mirror of the one. To start enlightenment, you have to become a master above the lower 3 seals of consciousness, up to the crown. You have to master bringing forth an incredible mind, working through the brain and bringing it to life, and use it to become extraordinary. People don't get healed or go to war because people fret on resolving problems based upon their barren human state of mind. The mind is poverty-stricken. This plane called heaven has been occupied by an insignificant mind. This is why contemplation and self-reflection is pivotal to this inner work. The spinal cord, path of the serpent of energy. The brain takes all the information from the senses and expresses it through the central nervous system as electrical impulses, which goes up and down the spine. This communicates the energy to every cell in the body, which becomes aware of the environment. The brain is a sender and receiver of information. It can hear the entire spectrum of light and energy, even though our ears don't. We are constantly bathed in these different levels of energy and light. These radio bands carry coded messages. Our brain hears it, but our ears don't. If it is a low band wave, it is called infrared noise. Our brain decodes this noise, which is called background thoughts.
But we swore to serve the master of the precious. No, ashes and dust and thirst there is, and pits, and oxes, thousands of oxes, and always the great eye watching.
Which are thoughts that are not our own, and our brain picks them up. Each part of the brain are different states of consciousness. With this knowledge, you can define and move into these altered states of consciousness in the brain and be able to access them. The different states are also frequencies, which are called alpha, beta, theta, and delta. When the frequency changes, it is coordinating a new state of consciousness. Knowledge are tools for our divine architect and director, our spirit who sits in our midbrain and lower cerebellum.
Whoa, are we inside my brain right now? It's big. I must be smart.
I'm not hearing a lot of activity here.
I don't think he's ever had an original thought in his life.
That's not true. For instance, one time I wanted to have a bunch of my friends over to watch TV, not unlike this TV that just showed up magically. And not everybody can fit on my one couch. And I thought to myself, well, what if there was such a thing as a bunk bed, but as a couch? Introducing the double-decker couch. So everyone could watch TV together and be buddies.
But in most of us, instead of tools and supplies up here, we have an entire empty, dusty, and dirty attic full of programs in our neural net of lack, guilt, shame, anger, pain. So in order for our innate genius and divine director to create, we must supply the tools and knowledge to do so. The more knowledge we attain, the greater the neural links we have to build new paradigms and models of thought. But we have to learn to let go of these dated programs due to the fear of change. We have to let go of the addiction to survival and disconnect it, so it can dissolve into a new future timeline and reality. But you have to ask yourself, would you rather experience misery or the unknown, the unlimited? So if we can let go of the habits, the personality, the addictions, the sex, and the image, we can fill this up with incredible knowledge for an incredible life. Because if the only tools up here on how to look, eat, smell, and feel good, what kind of life then are we creating? The more we know, the more ignorance we let go of, and the greater we can imagine a future reality of love and bliss. The neocortex. All of our scenes and memories are stored in the neocortex. We use 1/10 of our brain, and this is the area of the other 90% that is underdeveloped. It is underdeveloped because this is where it collects data and knowledge. It is also where we calculate and judge everything. Body and mind consciousness lives here, which is about the image, your personality, and survival. Whatever is here is in control of your emotional body, and your emotional body controls the physical body. What you think and believe has control over your emotions, which control your life. The neocortex is the area for language, analyzing the senses, and creates attitudes. The neocortex area is also broken up in the left and right hemispheres. The left and right hemispheres are where the eyes are plugged into, your nose, your ears, and the majority of the other senses. The energy moves to the right first, and then to the left. The right side is the emotions and the intuitive aspect of the brain. The left side is for intellectual analysis. This is where thought is presented and argued about because it is a house that is split. Thought comes up from the brainstem and electrical impulses through the nerve fibers that fire the neurons of the neural net of the brain. When they fire, they present pictures, which are called thoughts. These thought forms is a solid formation of consciousness so that both sides of the brain can discuss. This discussion is called judgment. All these thoughts are presented purely, and it is only when they are discussed it becomes polarized. It's like having to choose a parent's side and opinion over the other, where you end up not being able to even decide for yourself. So then these pure thoughts then are judged, changed, and contaminated. Then due to our ignorance and lack of knowledge of how our brain works, our lives then accept these dramatic, altered thoughts as entirely normal. This normal thinking that we all think is the mystical power that we never see but have every day. But if we can hold back the judgments, the commentary, and allow the pure thoughts to come in, we start cleaning up our dirty thoughts. The hemispheres are separated by a bridge, which is called bridge consciousness. The corpus callosum. Underneath the neocortex is the corpus callosum, the pituitary, pineal, and thalamus glands. The corpus callosum holds all of the equipment together, like the workshop of the brain. It's an intricate, complex system of nerve fibers and communication lines. It is concerned with building, and when it finishes the model, it places it into the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is what encompasses both hemispheres of the brain and interprets the senses. This is the most important center as it's responsible for bringing about observant reality. This is the magic and most important center of the brain, the sixth seal, the pineal system, which secretes hormones of information that allow passages to open. The pineal energy prepares the subconscious center, the lower cerebellum, to awaken and prepares the brain for the seventh seal. This then creates deeper levels of access to the subconscious and protects us from emotional demons with lofty and magnificent thought. The frontal lobe is where spirit creates and builds all the models with focused intent to become law. The more we develop this part of the brain, the greater the knowingness to transcend time. When you move a thought into the frontal lobe, you are in a hypnotic trance of no thinking. We discover a new dimension of patience, hypnotic ability, and a oneness in mind that holds itself in a timeless space. It is the psychic brain that doesn't think or analyze. It just sends and receives information purely without judgment or labels. This trance state moves out of emotion into a state of being, a state of pure clarity. No thinking equals no emotion, as it's in a state of patience and clarity. It's a heightened state, and the energy and force field are much more powerful than the thinking state of the neocortex. When we start pumping energy up from the serpent of the base of the spine, unwinding it, and it starts to dance up the spine as it moves, it has to go through a guardian door. This entity is at the back of the brain, the lower cerebellum. It is the ancient part of our brain. It is over 10.5 million years old. It holds the entire history of our evolution, like a black box in an airplane. It is the master controller, overlord, and judge that prevents certain information to come to the conscious mind. It also holds all the information and knowledge about you and your soul. This reptilian, primitive brain stores the image, personality, the dragon. This overseer gives orders to the left and right hemispheres of the frontal cortex, the front and center of the head. This personality can only occupy three-dimensional space. It gives the orders to the interior of the brain, the front of the brain, to produce holograms. Both sides of the left and right hemispheres at the front of the brain are screens for holographic imagery that the reptilian brain projects its images upon chemically. The reptilian brain involves the central nervous system, the cardiovascular system, and keeps the heart beating and produces the conscious mind. All this overseer wants is the body and mind consciousness. It controls all the cerebral cortex and works to make you feel good all the time. Children have much smaller controllers. The reptilian brain is a powerful receiver for the universe and is the seat of our subconscious, our spirit, our divine director. It wraps around the brainstem and encompasses the lower part of the brain. This part only allows the energy to move up if it sees genuine earnestness of where you are going in your life. If it will benefit the program of your soul and what you came here to do, it allows the energy to move up and swell the brain. This energy is called Kundalini. It will have a horrible time moving through this maze because in this labyrinth is where the overseer takes into consideration, are you worthy? It takes a look at your life and it knows what you have done. It knows the real you. It is merciful and strict because it knows that certain things that would happen in your life you can never handle. If you are not mature enough, it forbids information to come through, and it will test you. This guardian knows what potentials you will select in your life that are not supportive for this to happen, and will block off the energy and never allow you to go any further, and keep the energy in the labyrinth web of the reticular formation in the brain. It does this because it knows in a few months from now, you will not be interested in doing the inner work. It's like a built-in editor because it knows you won't use the sacred knowledge. It only allows people that pass this door who have learned certain knowledge. Those who haven't do not enter. It evaluates everything coming up in your life and everything that you have created. So this is why we must attain knowledge and learn more about ourselves and how we function. Next, I'll go deeper into how our brain works and the mechanics.